Look what we made today. We made our own version of green bean casserole, low carb. We used a homemade cream of mushroom soup. We used green beans and we fried our own onions. Hello, welcome to my channel. I've lost 180 pounds with keto, carnivore, and counting calories. Thank you for watching. So to get started on this, as you can see, there's always one quality assurance around making sure I'm doing things correctly. I got this little teeny tiny skillet heating up, and to start off, we are going to deep fry some onions to have ready for whenever we top off the casserole. Oh, hush up, Siri. So I need to heat up some avocado oil because I've tried this several times in the past frying onions, but we're going to get it this time, by George, if it kills me. So I'm going to let this heat up, and then like I said, I've got these chopped onions and we're going to deep fry them, so hang on. So for this portion of our green bean casserole, we're not going to use the fried onions that you get in the store. We're going to fry up our own. We're going to experiment and see how this works. I'm just using the plain old chopped onions because these will be put on the top of the green bean casserole. You could slice it up if you wanted to. Like, you know me, I'm going to go with whatever's quick and easy. And these chopped onions are pretty darn quick and easy. Just want to watch so they don't burn, because you don't want them to burn. I definitely have done that before. Getting borderline, so keep an eye on them. In the end, they may not be as crispy as those crispy onions, those French onion things, but that's all right. Now I'm gonna put them out on this paper towel. Just gotta be willing to experiment and trial things. A couple more here. And I'm actually going to go on and use the rest of these onions. Now, I should have weighed them, but I didn't. So, if you're doing this, you know, it's better to weigh before you start it. Although you're adding oil, so I don't know. It's probably not going to be accurate of anything today on this one. Let's see if these kind of dry out a little bit after cooling. I'm going to finish frying these up, and when they're brown, I'll put them on here with the others and I'll get back with you. I put these onions that were already here, I put them back in there with it just to let them cook a little bit more. And I zeroed this out, and it's going to give us the weight of the onions, but it's also going to give us the weight of the oil. So I'm going to guesstimate the amount of oil. I'm not, you know, it would be ideal to know how much oil you put in and how much oil you end with. But, you know, not everything can be as perfect as we want it to be. And this is one of those times. I do have my oven preheating to 350. Get the rest of these out. And my guesstimate of onions is 50 grams, along with some oil, so I don't know. There we go. Now let's move over to the other side and let this cool down. So I got this recipe because I was watching Brenda Gant. She's on YouTube and Facebook. I am going to open 3 cans of green beans, and I'm going to put this put them in a colander and let this sit in my sink. So in here, I have 1 ounce of ghee and 2 ounces of cream cheese. I microwaved them to get them soft. Now, this was some homemade cream of mushroom soup that I made a while back. And what I had taken to make this was, I had sauteed up some mushrooms, raw mushrooms. I sauteed them up. And I put 1 tablespoon of heavy cream, and then probably about a tablespoon of cream cheese. So that is what is in this jar. I'm going to use half of it, so I'm going to have to figure out. So I'm going to put half. No, it's probably the equivalent of one container of mushrooms, 1 tablespoon heavy whipping cream, 1 tablespoon of cream cheese. So that's what's in this jar. I'm going to use half of the jar, so I will cut all that in half. And so what Brenda Gant did was she mixed it all together in a container first before pouring it over her green beans. So we're going to do this first. We'll see. I may decide I need to do more. Let me just kind of mix it up and see. I think for 3 cans of green beans, this will be plenty. That's the texture. So I've made my own cream of mushroom soup, cream of chicken soup, and where I did them the same. I just add a little bit of heavy cream and a little bit of cream cheese, and then mix it up. I use a blender to blend it all up. Now let me just taste this. Hang on. See what I think of this. Oh, that's gonna be good. All right. Let me get a thing out to put the green beans in a casserole dish. Hang on. By the way, the oven is preheating at 350. For the green beans, I had weighed this container and this plate. So it was 100 grams. So right now this is 800. So I have 700 grams of green beans right here. So I'm going to put that down in here. And then I'll stick that over here. I'll wash that later. And I'm going to pour this all over the green beans. Now she made a big old thing of it, and she made a whole gallon-sized can of it. But I just wanted to experiment today. So this is my experiment. I'm going to stir it up gently so I don't break up the beans. But if you don't like cream of mushroom soup, you could probably use cream of chicken or whatever you want to use. And you could even buy the store-bought kind. Like I said, I made my own not long ago. So, and what I did was I put the other half of that jar, I put the other half back in the freezer. I had defrosted it, but I went ahead and put it back in the freezer. So that is that. And I am going to go ahead and put these little bits of onion on the top now. And probably I could have used the minced onions, and that would work just fine as well. And I might still put a little of those on there. They'll have a good flavor to them. Let's do that. Let's put just a little bit of these minced onions on there. Just a little. There we go. And you know what else I think will be good? Now, she didn't do this, but like I like the flavor of Lipton onion soup mix. And to me, everything bagel seasoning kind of has that flavor. So I'm going to put some everything bagel seasoning on top. Just enough to give it a little extra flavor. Because I didn't do any salt or pepper or anything. So, because I don't know. I don't know how it's going to taste. So, I'm going to put this in the oven. It's at 350 right now. Everything's cooked. We just want it to get good and cook, all the, blended and everything and melted. So, I'll do it for, 350 degrees. We'll say 20 minutes. And I'll be back in 20 minutes. Let's see what we think. That looks pretty. Whoa. Look at that. We're going to let it cool before we taste it. While it is cooling, I will say this, I'll put it in as 5 servings. Each serving will be 200 calories, 5 protein, 15 fat, 9 net carbs, or 13 total carbs. So that's going to have 5 servings. So anyway, we'll let it cool and then we'll taste it. So here's how it looks on a plate. Looks good. You can even put some bacon in there, man. That'd be good too. Let's see what we think. Remember, these were unsalted green beans because that's what I had for the dog. Yeah, I like it. And like I said, this will be 5 servings. So let me push them up and I'll show you what a serving size looks like. So this is the size of a serving. These are all 5 servings. It's about between about 190 grams is the size of a serving. I'm going to take one to Mom and let her, I feel like it needs salt. And you know me, I don't overload salt until I eat things. I just don't want to over salt something. I'd rather salt it the day I eat it than not salt it enough, than over salt it. So I'm gonna pop these, I'm gonna label them and pop them in the freezer. Hang on. Y'all know the drill. Label everything. I put GBC for green bean casserole. Label everything before you put it in the freezer. So, all right, that's my green bean casserole.